Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline. We are talking more weight conversations, how to drop weight in a day, and other fun things. Turning over a new leaf. We all like to find ways to improve, and this one might surprise you. And what happens when you let the dog off the chain? I don't mean my dog or your dog if you have a dog. Stay tuned to see what I mean about that. We've got TV, movies, games. This is all the entertainment this week. Spoilt. You are spoilt. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Obviously, the big one, the one we like the most, the one that makes us all happy, is share the podcast around. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline. Hello! How are we doing? We're well? We're good? I am not, is the shortest version. I am freaking exhausted. I'm pretty sure I said to somebody at like 10 o'clock this morning, I'm ready for my bed, and I wasn't even remotely joking. I genuinely was like, I could go to bed right now. I've had a stressful day, which obviously I will now proceed to bore you with the details. Not before a few other things. Plenty to be going at. One of those weeks where I think at one point I had like 2 episodes of TV written on my list, and that was it. And then in the space of a few days, I say a few days, like over the weekend, stuff like that, it basically was just like, oh, I've got all of this stuff now. And that is the nature of the beast, as we've spoken about previously. So, how are you? How's your week? How's your life? If you're well, if you're good, great. If you're not, drop me a line. Let me know. This one is going to be difficult. I honestly feel if like just then, I closed my eyes for 2 seconds and I felt myself going. I'm not overly sure what that is all about, but we shall soldier on. And obviously what it means is that this podcast is going to be like an hour and a half long of me rambling, and when I finish and turn it off, I will have absolutely no idea what I talked about. But for now, let's look at the list. So, a subject that we thought we'd escaped is back with a vengeance. I've implemented a £4 rule recently to try and get back to a little bit of normality. I've basically had to accept that my lowest weight that I achieved is my official lowest weight. Not ideal, and that sounds weird to say because it's, it's low. It's an achievement. I did I checked. Now these are loose numbers before anybody says anything. I did a very loose body fat percentage thing, and it was like, your body fat percentage is this. I was like, okay. And it was like, for a person of your height and weight, for a person of your height and age, you need to put on 1.5 kilograms. I was like, well, there's a first time for everything, I suppose. So I've been implementing what I am referring to as the £4 rule. And what that means is that the lowest weight I've been able to achieve is £4 below a different stone. So those £4 are my leeway, is my wiggle room. I don't want to go up into the other stone, and I know as it stands, I can't get lower. So that's my £4. So over the course of a week, some days I'll have put on £1. Some days I'll have lost £0.5, and then you get the days where it's like, oh wow, I put on £2 between yesterday and today, and then you sort of think about it, it's like, well, actually, it's probably just the food in my system because I ate tea last night and I had a big protein heavy meal, and you know, all the factors you've got to take into account. So I've implemented the £4 rule. Last week, that £4 was starting to disappear. So we were at the low point, then £1 on, then £2 on, then another £1 on, and there you go, it's gone. So I was like, okay, I need to do something about that. I need to get that gone. So I was like, I think we know what's coming. It's fasting time. I was like, but I don't want to have to do a big fast, and I don't want to have to do honestly, I didn't really want to have to do more than a day. My body has changed, my mindset has changed, a lot of stuff changed where that doesn't really fit into my life as it stands at the moment. So I was like, right, it's time to muscle up, buttercup, and I was like, I'll do a day and see where we stand. So I did one full day, and I weighed myself the next day. And the next day, I'd lost £4. So it was like, oh, there we go. I'm at my lowest weight. What is I consider to be the lowest weight I can achieve. I've got a couple of ideas of whether of a couple of possibilities to test whether that is actually the truth, and just see if I can drop even just a couple of pounds would be nice. But I was quite sort of thrown by the fact that I was able to drop £4 in a day, and then didn't need to fast anymore than that. Just went about my life. Went back to eating and that sort of stuff. Last, I want to say Wednesday. No, I think it was Wednesday. I feel like me and my son had a job to do in the morning. Excuse me. What could our job have been? Okay, well, if I don't know at this point in time, I probably won't, and it might come to me, but it might not. Anyway, I was like, right, we've got to do this, and we've got to do that, whatever the job was. And then I was like, right, now we've got to go and do some shopping jobs. I was like, we need to go to this shop. Oh, no, that was... We needed to go to... well, it was bread. Was it because the older two were coming for tea? That kind of rings a bell. Anyway, we needed bread, so we had to go to Asda. There you go. Problem solved. Bread. Off we go, take ourselves off to Asda. We're in Asda for bread. So 2 shopping bags later, we walk out of Asda and I go, something not right there. Went in for bread. I was like, okay. I was like, right, mate, we've got 2 more shops to go to, just real quick. We'll just go quick. I was like, in fact, let's put these bags in the car so we don't have to carry these around other shops. And let's go. We'll go do 2 more shops and then we'll get a drink and we'll go home. Into the next shop we go. And 2 shopping bags later, I walk out and I'm like, what? What happened there then? I was like, I don't even think we went in for anything. I think we were just going to look. It's this thing, we've got a birthday coming, so every now and then there's like, oh, I'm just going to pop in here and just check this and check prices of this and this and then the next thing you're walking out with shopping bags. I was like, I realised there was something wrong at that point, and we still had one shop to go. The irony is, the last shop we had to go in, we were going for one thing, and they didn't have it. Now, I know what you think. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, so if they didn't have what you went for, that was the only thing you were going for, surely you left empty-handed. Well, no. I left with a full shopping bag, didn't I? In my defence, I bought something for my little cat mate because he'd been poorly, and I was like, I'm gonna buy you a little treat because you've been poorly and it makes me sad. So I'm gonna buy you this. So I did, and touch wood. It seems like the little treat things that I bought him, I guess his brother has to have some, weirdly seem to have sorted him out. And I'm a bit like, so yeah, we left with a shopping bag and I went, something has gone wrong. And ultimately, that something is me. I've gone wrong. And I started thinking about it, I was like, there's something's out of line or something's out of whack. It was kind of like over the course of the day, like I went from there, I got me and my buddy a drink, got him a milk, got me a drink, we got in the car, we went home. We get home and I'm like, right, let's get all the stuff in. And he walked away carrying, I think he was carrying his cup of milk, and I carried 6 bags, his lunch bag, 2 jackets, 2 hats, and the bag of bags. Carried all that, nearly lost 3 fingers in the process, brought it all into the house, dragged it all into the kitchen, put it down in the kitchen and went, where the fuck am I going to put all of this stuff? And this was another big problem, a big issue, because I've got X number of like protein shakes, what I call chewy drinks, which are these like drinks with like chunks in, like these coconut chunk things. Long story, if you don't know what they are, then you don't know what they are, and if you do, then you'll know what I'm on about. I had like these. I had these protein shakes. I got a milkshake for Leanne. I had bottles of fizzy drink and smoothies and all this. All this stuff needed to go in the fridge. It was all cold drinks that came from a fridge that needed to go in a fridge. And I opened the door of the fridge and I went, there's no room for any of this stuff. There's nowhere to put any of this stuff. And honestly, I knew that before I left the house. I knew the fridge was full. The fridge is always full. It's always full. And I don't even think that I don't understand the irony, not irony, but the almost tone deaf nature of that statement. The fridge is always full. Because, must be nice. I get it. But, 6 mini bottles of Iron Brew. Because, I'm a child. I could go in there now and pull out. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm probably underselling it at this point. I could go in that fridge right now and pull out 20 things that have got the word protein written on. Do I need 20 things? Do me and Leanne need 20 things in there with the word protein on them? Pretty sure there's 4 protein coffees. Up until this evening, there was 2 protein puddings. and a protein shake that I drank earlier. And, how about these protein pouches? In case you haven't guessed, the word in our house these days is protein. By this point in time, I'm like, this is just ridiculous. Now, anybody who's a long time, or one of the long time listeners will know, this is not the first time this has come up. This is not the first time I've said, what is it? Getting on the wagon, climbing on the wagon. Something has to change, and the change has to be me. And I'm starting to think that being a lifelong collector, I've just started collecting freaking protein shakes. This is the other thing. I've got one type that's got 25 grams of protein. I've got another one that's got 20 grams of protein. Then I've got one that's got 36 grams of protein. Then I've got one that's got 40 grams. And then these pouch things have got 22. And I look at them and I go, okay, so on a heavy workout day that also has like a lot of running involved, I need a 40 gram. But on a Thursday when it's a ever so slightly lighter workout, that's a 20 gram of protein shake, or a 22 gram. I don't even know what to call it. It's those like pouches that you give to not babies but like toddlers. It's like a giant one of those. I think it's got yogurt in. I couldn't tell you. It just says protein on it. I'm like, this is the collector in me. And now I don't collect, action figures and leave them in the box. I guess I collect protein shakes. Things that have the word protein on them. I bought some freaking lentil crisps the other day because they said that they were high in protein. I was like, well, I best buy them then. I was exhausted by it. I was done with it. I was like, right, it's time. I was like, next week, me and my little mate, we're going to go and I'm going to take him to that baby gym. I was like, we're going to go to baby gym, because it'll cost me $5 to get us in, and that's it. That's all the money I'm spending. And I don't need any protein shakes, and I don't need anything that has the word protein written on it, and it'll all be fine, and it'll be great. And that's going to break the cycle, and then we can go and have a great time at baby gym, and all of that. And fuck, I need to take the dogs to the vets. And then I rejoiced, because I was like, well, taking the dog to the vets won't be expensive, will it? I had a conversation with my eldest child, and I was like, well, I mean, that's how ingrained the vets is in everyone's life, because I was like, I got to take the dogs to the vets on Wednesday. She was like, I bet that'll be cheap. I was like, technically, it's going to be free. She was like, will it be though? I was like, probably not. They don't like doing stuff for free. So I was like, right, dogs to the vets this week. Next week, it's going to be baby gym. Toddler gym. Yeah. Then, out of sheer defiance, this was something else, out of sheer defiance, over the next few days I refused to put anything in the fridge and made it my mission to get everything out of the fridge. Drink it, eat it, whatever it. I even ate the open jar of kimchi over the space of about 4 days, and honestly, I'm fighting the urge to go and buy more kimchi, because I've found a wicked combination for kimchi and cottage cheese, which honestly, it keeps me up at night. So yeah, one day at a time, people. I feel like some sort of really messed up addict. One day at a time. Did go out at lunchtime today and buy a load of stuff to put in the fridge, but that's that's just a whole other story. It was a blip, and days without incident, 0 so far. Anyway, my son has started toilet training, and that is going about as well as you'd expect it to, and that is not the truth. So, my son comes home from nursery last week, and it took Leanne an hour and a half to realise that he wasn't wearing a nappy. Cool. So there we go. Started toilet training. That's how it began. He has been doing amazing. Fantastic. Wonderful. So amazing. So proud. So just like, wow, you are crushing it. As long as it's a wee. Yeah. Anything else? And I don't know if you've heard, but I've got 4 children, so this will be the 4th child that I will have to go through with this. We have had success in the other area twice, I believe. However, he has yet to cross the horizon of number 2 related accidents versus number 2 toilet based. But you know when you just like, once you've said, "Oh mate, I'm super proud of you. You've done really well there, buddy. I can't believe it. You're such a big boy." And once you've said all that, then what do you say? It's a huge thing. It's a massive achievement, and it's just in the blink of an eye. Over the course of a day, he went from nappies to pants, from absolutely no sign of being toilet trained to active toilet training. And you take him and you sit him on, and he's absolutely adamant that he doesn't need the toilet, and you sit him on, and then 13 seconds into him sitting there, he's like, "Oh, it's happening." And to start with, he was doing like tiny little wheeze, and you'd be like, "Oh mate, you've done really well there," and pull your shorts up and wash your hands and let's go. But now he's obviously settled into it, knows what the deal is, knows what's going on. So now it's like, bro, that's a sizable wee, mate. That's good strong wee genes you've got there. So yeah, the issue I've got is how much you have to look ahead. Like, it's very much well, I can't take him here and I can't take him there because what if he needs the toilet? We did have an incident in a shop where we were quite far away from their toilet, and he said, "I need the toilet," and I said, "Are you sure? Because we're quite away from the toilets and I've got a basket full of shopping." And he was like, "Yep, absolutely, definitely sure. We got to go." I was like, "Right." So I put all of my shopping back. I raced him across the shop, took him to the toilet, went in, sat him down, and he was like, "Nah, don't need the toilet anymore." I was like, cool, because obviously the way they implement like big shops now is you can only go in and out one way. So I guess we're going round again, and we're going to have to pick all that shopping up again, aren't we? Cool. What made it even better was we did the entire shopping that we needed, went and paid, bagged all the shopping up, went back to the toilet, and he still didn't go. So yeah, wasn't that urgent. Saturday night. I spend far too much time watching far too many YouTube videos about far too many different subjects. Often it's the big subjects that I'm into at that point in time. Cooking videos. I watch a lot about upcoming computer games, whether it's VR or flat games. Movie trailers, TV shows, stuff like that. My biggest thing at the moment is weight loss and fitness and working out and muscle growth and all those sort of things. So I watch a lot of videos. Generally, like for example, it's 10 to 10 at night. This will take me another half an hour or so to get through. And then I'll do the coding and the uploading. And while that's doing all of its business, I will probably sit and play Steam Deck with YouTube on in the background, and YouTube will be telling me about the best way to maximize the amount of protein that I get at a certain point in the day whilst learning how to do the best bicep curl. That's basically my YouTube algorithm at this point in time. I recently watched a video that was talking about the fact that diet and exercise, great, but you're not supposed to. It's not designed about diet and exercise for the rest of time. The idea is that you're supposed to diet and exercise to get your weight down, and then you're supposed to switch to a maintenance phase. A maintenance phase is 80% healthy eating, and you keep your exercise up. But 20% of what you do should be a little bit looser, shall we say. And there are a lot of scientific reasons for that. We're not necessarily talking the cheat meal, because there are some camps that truly believe that there is no such thing as a cheat meal, and there are some camps that believe that you absolutely have to have a cheat meal. Now, I probably fall into both categories. I would say that realistically you should just eat clean and healthy, and that's that. You shouldn't need other things. However, I know full well that your body is its own worst enemy, and it will get used to the stuff that you're putting in it, and it will find a way to trick you so that when you're eating in a calorie deficit or up to your calorie limit, it'll find a way to need less calories so that you're, kind of in that overeating category, and it'll trick you, like it'll. Because it's a son of a bitch. So I also believe and agree that there is a theory around eating a higher calorie meal that some people would interpret as a cheat meal, so that your body has to work harder to burn it off and you actually get better results. Also, it's kind of a reset, a rebalance, whatever. So I do find myself believing both. What it was saying was you should do 12 weeks, and then after 12 weeks, switch to a maintenance phase, and a maintenance phase is a little bit looser. So I was like, do you know something? I've definitely been going more than 12 weeks at this point, and it is Saturday night, and for what could be the only time me and Leanne and my eldest, me and my eldest watch a lot of movies. For better or worse, I honestly can't work out if it's, one of those where you're like, I don't know if this is what she wants to do with her time, but this is what we seem to do with our time. So, until she turns around and she's like, I don't want to watch a movie, I want to do something else, I'll just keep riding that one. But Leanne actually agreed to join in. Now, we will talk about which movie it was. Might give an idea of why we were all gathered round. So I was like, do you know something? It's Saturday. And I geared myself up and I said, right, on Saturday, I'm going to have a little bit of a looser whatever. Now, kind of miscalculated this one because I waited until right into the afternoon before I had eaten anything, let alone anything that might be considered bad. And what I ate was like, dear. I had some dried broad beans and some dried and seasoned peas. Yep, there we go. That's where I'm at. I think there was some like habanero peanuts as well at some point. So that was how I was, rocking it. However, what I will say is this: I did have what I would consider at this point in time to be quite a sizable tea. Now, what I mean by that is that I had the sort of meal that I would eat almost daily. I added an additional element. Now, I will say this. The additional element I added was a protein-based element, so adding protein to protein is not exactly going to break the bank. So, after that, I was like, well, I'm feeling dangerous at this point in time. Maybe I should have something else. So in the kitchen at the moment, we've got these like tubs, and they've got these little. It's like a wafer biscuit. It's filled with like chocolate. Like I get like these tubs for the kids, and they seem to really like them. But I found what I would say is like an adult version, because they were a coffee version, and I bought them and then sat in the kitchen for a while. And Lamb was like, "Oh, I'm having some of these." I was like, "You do, right?" And then I was like, "Oh, I'll try one." And I had one, and it tasted very nice. I was like, maybe I'll have another one or 6. Well, that was it. Oh, it got hold of me. I was like, I'm getting the beast rising. So, I had some chocolate, actual chocolate. I had a strip of chocolate, and then a little bit later, I was like, I just need just a little bit of something. So I had 2 pieces of dark chocolate, and that was it. I was done. It was only later, because I was like, the guilt, oh my God, I can't believe I've ruined everything. This is the worst. I am the worst person ever. Clip that out. It was only later when I did the maths and was like, my tea was probably like up to the end of my tea, I'd probably eaten something like 500-600 calories all day. And then like a bit of chocolate, and like it turned out that these little biscuit things were like 5 calories each. So where in my head I'm like, I bet they were like 50 calories each. Yeah, they were 5 calories each. And I think by the end of the day, I'd probably still come under my daily allowance on a day that I'd done a massive run for a Saturday, not a massive run in general. And I'd done an hour and a half of climbing where I'd been absolutely pouring sweat, and I'd done a workout, and I'd been running around after 4 kids all day, and was like, oh, I felt so bad, and I felt like I'd ruined everything so bad that I didn't even weigh myself on Sunday. I was like, I can't face looking at the scales. So then I get on the scales this morning, This was before I went for my run, just to get a gauge, just see how I was doing. Oh god, and I was like a pound over my lightest weight, and was like, oh, okay, well there we go. I did feel slightly robbed because when I got home from my run, I only lost 0.4 of a pound. So I was a bit like, why did I bother going for a run? Anyway. Final thing for the week happened today. I unfortunately had to take myself back off to the doctors. Once again, another one of those. Me and the tumbleweeds sat in the doctor's waiting room. Honestly, I think we need to do some investigative journalism on this one and find out what the fuck happened to all the people that were going to the doctors. Where are they now? Seriously, what happened to people who used to go to doctors? Where did they go? Where are they at this point in time? I've been to the doctors twice in 2 and a bit weeks. Both times I have been the only person there. 10 times more staff than people. And then I go to see a doctor today, and the doctor's like, "Oh, first thing I've got to say is I've got another doctor coming to have a look." I'm like, "You're all busy then, yeah?" As when I go in, there's the half-drunk cup of coffee on the desk. I was like, "Working hard, yeah?" So, yeah, little trip to the doctors. I personally believe there's probably an operation in my not too distant future. I would say that I would guess it's probably in the next, at this point in time, it's probably in the next week or so. Which, yeah, I really don't want to have to go through, because the conversation I had today was like, "Oh, you've had this operation before, so you'll know that it's like 5 months worth of healing." Like, yep, that's not for me, thanks. I had a conversation on the phone with the doctor. And they were asking me all these questions. What about this? And what about that? And what about the other? And I was like, well, funny you should say that. Funny you should ask that very specific question. And like, oh, what about this? And like, well, yeah, funny you should say that. All that. And then I go and see the same doctor, because they were like, we spoke on the phone earlier. I was like, yes, we did. Here we go. You're going to ask me all these questions. And you're going to really dig into what's going on with me. Internally, externally, mentally. Nope, not a single question. Nothing. I was like, cool. I mean, I can't imagine any of those questions or subsequent answers might lead you to what is actually wrong with me. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Anywho, as of this evening, Leanne and I have finished Series 3 of Reacher. I called through to her earlier and I was like, do you know something? I feel no better off having A, finished that season of Reacher, and B, watched that season of Reacher. I really enjoyed the first series. First series I watched twice. I think I've said that before. Second series, nowhere near as good, but was what it was. Series 3, I didn't have a huge burning desire to watch it. I felt like I'd heard almost nothing about it, which I often think is not a great sign with a TV series. Ironically, in the doctors today, I heard 2 of the people on reception talking about something they'd been watching. So, word of mouth is a wonderful thing, just like in podcasting. So, having got through episode 6, 7, and 8, I was a bit like, yeah, it is what it is. It's finished now. We don't have to watch it again or anymore or whatever Leanne was saying to me earlier. I was a bit like, not super enamoured with this series. Oh, yeah, she was like, well, this is it now. They're just going to start churning them out. And I was like, but why? I was like, I get it. There's something like 30 books. Plenty of material, blah, blah, blah. But do it right or don't do it at all. That's my motto, I guess. I also watched episode 5 of The Bondsman. Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It was a bit more of a, not necessarily a backstory episode, but a bit more of a, not Monster of the Week episode. A bit more about like the characters. The problem in our house is I like it, and I don't think Leanne does, so she won't suggest watching it, but she's happy for me to put it on. Now, on the flip side, I have other stuff that I can watch, which she will have absolutely zero interest in. So it's a bit of this limbo. There's a reason we've finished Reacher and not finished Bondsman, let's put it that way. Honestly, I would go on without her and just get it watched and done. I like it. I'm enjoying it. So, yeah, we might have to assess the best way to move that one forward. Obviously, it's that thing. Now we've finished Reacher. There's no excuse. However, I suspect we'll be watching something different tomorrow evening. Let's put it that way. Movie-wise, a couple of new ones and a movie rewatch. I watched and finished The Watchmen Chapter 2, the animated version of the Watchmen film. Really enjoyed the second one. Obviously, there is a lot more action, I suppose, in the back half of the Watchmen story. It's the same in the film. It's the same in the animation. I was on the treadmill for the famous Rorschach line. You don't get it. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. One of the most badass lines in cinema at that point in time. The animation did it justice. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I thought it was very well done. Amazing adaptation from the movie, from the graphic novel. It was just a perfect sort of pairing. One thing I will say, and this will come into play a little bit later, is not a massive fan of the pirate comic book story. I felt like it really takes you out of the movie, and I don't really know why it's there, because it doesn't feel, it's just this additional story. The reason I bring it up is I purchased the director's cut of the Watchmen movie. I think I paid £4 for it, and it is 4.25 hours long. So it's less than £1 an hour, that's for sure. And the reason it's so long, and the reason it's this director's cut, this super duper version, is it has this animated section put back into it, and it's this pirate story. There's this kid, he's reading a comic. It's narrated by Gerard Butler, because he's second billing on the credits on the director's cut. And I was like, who the fuck is Gerard Butler in this? And it turns out he's just the narrator of the comic. So even the director's cut of the movie has this animated section in it. And it's fine. Like, as a standalone story, it's fine. It's great. It's got a bit of a twist. I won't spoil it, etc. But it's just very disjointed in comparison to the the rest of the film and the story that's going on. It's just weird. The other new film we watched, me and Leanne watched The Accountant 2, which was a bit of a weird one because I wanted me and Leanne to go to the cinema to see it. Leanne's only recently seen The First Accountant. I've seen The First Accountant a few times. Thoroughly enjoy it. It's a great film. She's only recently seen it and she really liked it. Like the kind of, she was like, that's going in one of my top slots. I was like, wow. She was like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, well, there's another one coming. And in my head, I was like, oh, I wonder if I can get, like, maybe see if Nana will babysit and we can go and see it at the cinema. But, yeah, that's one of those. So, never got to see it at the cinema. Next thing, there's this, coming soon to Prime, The Accountant 2. I'm like, well, I would have taken me and Leanne to the cinema. You're looking £7 a throw. It's going to come out at 20. Am I prepared to pay £20 for me and Leanne to watch The Accountant 2? Possibly, yeah, because we'll make a bit of a thing of it. I made a mental note that it was coming soon, like within the next week or so. I was like, cool. One day, I think it was when I went to put the Watchmen thing on. I was like, oh, it's on Prime. Don't have to pay a penny for it. It's on Prime. Sent Leanne a message. I was like, Accountant 2 is on Prime. She was like, oh, we'll have to watch it Friday night. And that's what we did. 2 hour 15 run time. First and foremost, I said to Leanne when we finished watching it, I said to my eldest the next day, I was like, I could have done a 90-minute cut of that film and lost zero story. And I feel a lot with these films these days is that is... I was talking about when we went to see Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and I was like, it should have just been 2 90-minute movies. It would have been so much easier to digest. They should have done a shorter first one. They should have done 2 more movies after the first one. They should have stuck to the original 3-movie idea and made it easier to digest. I honestly am considering whether there's an option to get some sort of editing software. Obviously, I use editing software multiple times a week because I do video podcasts. I use editing software. I'm like, if I could get hold of a series of films I've seen over the last X number of months and turn them into what I would consider watchable versions. So, Accountant 2 is 2 hours 15 minutes long and did not need to be. It could have been 90 minutes and been a lot tighter. Easily. Like I said at one point to Leanne, I was like, that entire section of the film, it added to the film in not one single way, and it was long. Cut all of that out immediately. Make the film better. I'm going to have to take this. Yeah, take my jumper off. Put my jumper on because I was cold. Now I'm taking it off because I'm sweating cobs. Now I'm starting to wonder if I've got some sort of, one of the first questions they asked me was, did I have a temperature? Was the Accountant 2 good? I don't know. We watched it, and I'm pretty sure for the second time I'm going to say that Leanne said, well, at least we don't have to watch it again. And I think my answer was, yeah, and there's the difference. I've seen The First Accountant multiple times. If you said to me right now, hey, do you want to watch The Accountant? My answer would be, yes. Yes, I do. It's a film I can put on and watch easily anytime. It's in that category. If you said to me, do you want to watch The Accountant 2 right now? My answer would be, I'm probably good, thanks. Because there was so much of it that was unnecessary. All I would be able to see would be the 2 hour 15 run time and the fact that there's so much wasted time. Also, and I don't want to... whatever... not super easy to understand. Now, I'm not a very intelligent man, so that doesn't say a lot. But what it does say is there was like 3 different stories going on in that film, almost all at once in points. I was like, do we need all these stories? Could we have picked one and stuck to it? You've got this like random character that pops up throughout, and I'm like, what is this? What are we doing here? Why have we got this? It was so like, oh, we've got this going on, and we've got this other really big thing going on, and then we've got this thing going on. I was like, pick a lane. There's a massive shootout at the back end of the film. Spoilers. Reason that's a spoiler is because that's all there really is. And I know I have a tendency to review things in a certain way that come across as negative. If you and your partner want to sit down for a movie night, you want a movie that's got a bit of fun, a bit of action, a reasonable story, etc., 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 you can't go much further wrong than watching The Accountant 2. I saw a review at one point in time that said that the absolute best part of the film is Ben Affleck and John Berthenthal's chemistry, and it is absolutely the best part of that film. Yes, there's a big shootout, and it's fine. There we go. It was a 6 out of 10, but the first one's probably an 8 out of 10. So, you know, I did that whole, I bet the first one's 90 minutes. I bet it's 145. Yeah, the first one's 2 hours long. Don't feel like it. Simple as that. Me and my eldest and Leanne decided it was time to do a Maverick rewatch. Reason being is there's been a lot of mention of Maverick recently, and it was a huge thing in our house for a long time. It was this really big thing, and I've seen a lot of stuff recently that talked about it. So I was like, hey, is it time for a Maverick rewatch? Leanne had already said this. My eldest has mentioned it. I'm like, should we do it? And everyone's like, hell's yeah. And that's what we did. We rewatched Maverick. Now, I'm not going to do a review. I am going to say this. This time I went into it to hate it. I was like, I've got to hate this film. I've got to go in and I've got to hate it. And at every single point in time where I was like, oh, that line was rubbish. Ah, that line was silly. The concept is ridiculous. Oh, I wonder where they got the idea for that from. Every single time I tried to say something like that, the moment was immediately followed up with some awesome flying scenes, some plane going backwards, and you know that the actors are actually in the planes and all of that. And I'm like, this film's fucking awesome. I will say this, it's probably got its issues. Watching it now, having had the fact that Val Kilmer has now passed away and stuff, that side of it seemed to have a like an additional meaning. Or like looking back, retrospectively looking back at it now, you kind of like, I wonder if they did that knowing that, you know, somewhere in the not too distant future, you know, it wasn't going to be around, and maybe there was something in it, and maybe it was a little bit of a goodbye. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit choked up at one point. Like a lot of things, like a lot of films like this, I do think the worst part is the relationship between Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise, for whatever reason, let's say. But you cannot deny that film is a freaking masterpiece. And definitely something to get us through the back end of the pandemic. Right, let's talk some computer games. A little bit of a mixture this week. Something else that I've been having to attempt to address is my absolute need, want, drive, whatever you want to call it, to try to buy every computer game on the face of the earth as long as they can be on the Steam Deck. It is some sort of obsession. It is getting to be quite bad. I bought a Humble bundle the other day because I was convinced it was an absolute bargain, which it was. It was £16 for 8 games. One of the 8 games, the lowest valued game on the list, retailed at $16.75, and that was the lowest one. Like the top game on the list was, I'm pretty sure, in like the 40s or 50s. So it was a money saving and all that. It was when I tried to add each of the games to my Steam library that it was like, yeah, that one's fine. Yep, that one's fine. Oh, this library already has this game. Like they're like telling you off, like you've done something naughty. I was like, all right, okay, next one. Yes, that one's fine. Okay, next one. This library. Oh, I was like, oh, fuck off. Fine. I was like, this one. Yeah, that one's fine. So then I ended up sending like a mate of mine a message with 2 game codes on, going, here's a couple of free games for you. Again. I have subsequently then proceeded to play, yeah, that's right, 0 of those games from that bundle. However, the games I have been playing, a game I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I just think it's silly fun, and I'm not gonna say I'm not enjoying it. There is a reason that I would want to say I'm not enjoying it, but I'm prepared to overlook that reason. I am playing and thoroughly enjoying The Precinct. It's just fun, and honestly, when you're dealing with games these days, it really is the thing that's missing. Fucking hell, man! It's just, where did all the fun go? I've been leveling my character up. I got a new patrol car. Told me that I had I can get a shotgun out of the boot of the car, but when I was trying to do it the other day, it didn't seem to work. So I need to revisit that mechanic and find out what it is I'm doing wrong there. I did some foot patrol. I did some vehicle patrol. I've been working my way up the ladder of the crime syndicate, and it's very very 80s cop show, over the top with that. One thing I will say is this: the shooting is not great, but I presume that there are upgrades. The reason that I'm not seeing them is because I just keep putting more and more upgrades into my health and stamina, because they are a real problem when you're trying to chase after a criminal. I have been playing the Yakuza Like a Dragon Hawaii pirate game, whatever that's called. Give me a second, because I should probably... It does feel like a collection of words. Where is the library? Here we go. Okay, here we go. It's Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I mean, try saying that fast while you're at it. It is, yet again, and there might be a theme here if you think about it, but it is another silly, fun game. You go around, you beat up pirates. What more could you want? A really weird thing about the game is as it stands, my character spends like all of his time shirtless, and it bothers me because I'm like, are you not cold? I appreciate you're in Hawaii, but are you not a little cold? And I don't know why. It's fun. It's a massively over-the-top fighting game, and you wander around an island in Hawaii. There you go. There's your game. There's like combos and all sorts of different things you can do, all of which I've forgotten and have absolutely no idea how to do them. So I just button bash until the bad guys fall down. There we go. Again, I did a thing where I was like, right, I'm going to get some upgrades, and I bought a couple of upgrades, and now I've got no money. And you fight people, and it's like, congratulations, you got $6 from beating this guy up. It's like, cool. Upgrades are in the thousands of dollars, so I hope there's another way to make money. One of the games in the bundle, which I haven't played, but I have played before, I suggested to my eldest that she might want to give it a go to. So I got her playing Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is an absolute banger of a game. Roguelike, card, dungeon. It's a spire. As the name would suggest, you work your way up. You battle monsters using cards and your character. And shortest version is you're probably going to die. So I set her on it, and the game told her how to play it, which I was glad because I couldn't overly explain it to her. And she got to grips with it very quickly through a tutorial and learn as you go. The thing was, my younger two daughters, their favourite pastime is just playing in their room. And initially I was always like, I don't like them playing up there on their own. What if one of them gets hurt, or what if one of them does something, or what if one of them burns the room down, or that kind of thing. But then as time's gone on, it's been a bit more like, I think they just want their independence, and they just want to dress up, and they want to put makeup on, and they want to do their, just for want of a better way of putting it, their silly games, and they're having a good time. So I just kind of leave them to it now. So what ends up is a situation where we've got my eldest playing games on the Steam Deck or doing like downstairs activity, and then my son will be absolutely tearing the house up. However, next thing, my son's like, what are you doing? My eldest is like, I'm playing this game. He's like, can I play? She's like, yeah, probably. So far I've pressed one button when I need to. So I left the room. I come back. They're both sat next to each other in the big computer chair. They're both holding the Steam Deck. And my eldest is like, okay, press the button now. And my son's then pressing the button. She's like, right, press it again. And they're fighting monsters in Slay the Spire. And I was like, that's cute. Bless them. And finally, another one that I set my eldest on, and she played and seemed to be enjoying, and I watched for a little while, but I then ended up starting my own version of the game. I purchased Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Again, try saying that fast. Turn-based RPG with parry/dodge elements. Never seen this before in a turn-based RPG, but so far I'm welcoming it in. As I said to Leon this evening, the biggest problem you've got with any RPG is there's too much story for them to tell, so you get like really long cutscenes, and I mean really long. The game is gorgeous. It looks amazing. It plays real well, plays real nice. Tutorial's good, lets you know how to do the game. I basically got to a point where I started losing track of all the stuff it was telling me, so I just went, I'm sure I'll work it out. I'm sure you can imagine how well that's going. So far, haven't had to rely on the parry dodge mechanic to win fights, because if I did, I would be dead at all times, because I can't do it. The window is too small, and there are just no indications. Speaking of no indications, it is a game that does not tell you where to go, and it doesn't give you the opportunity or option to like set a waypoint or look at a map or anything like that. It is very much like, here's this world. Are you going the right way? Who knows? Maybe you'll fight a monster at some point. On the flip side, I can say at this point in time, I guess I am going the right way because the game has progressed. We've had the big bit of the story at the beginning, and now we've gone out on the Expedition 33, and everybody got killed apart from Charlie Cox, who is the main character. The game is gorgeous. It plays super well. Plays really good on the Steam Deck. It's just big thumbs up for this game. I've heard no bad reviews. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, and so far it is living up to that hype. I will see what comes of it. It's definitely one that I'm going to go back to. Definitely one that I'm going to play a bit more. From everything I've seen and everything I've been told, apparently it's not super long for an RPG. I'm sure I saw something that said it was about 20 hours, which, yes, for some games is long, but if you think about like RPG's got 100 hours written all over it before you even take it out of the box. So, finally, into the Radius 2. Last night I did the big final, or current final mission. I had a really good run at it. Got it all done and stuff. So much so, I was doing so well that I had a little detour on the way back and did another mission while I was there. Took myself back to the base, completed all the missions and all that sort of stuff. And it's very much like as we've had in the past, like a soft ending to the game. Obviously, there'll be other areas that come down the line. It's been a while. I'm sure every time I go in, it says like April was the last update. It was a big update, but there is the fact that it's been released in early access on the Quest. Personally, I feel it's too early. Also, I feel it's too expensive. Because I considered getting it, I own Into the Radius 1 on both the Quest and on PC VR, and I actually bought the Quest version first. It had been out a while, and I bought it at a point in time. It was cheap, thinking very little of it, to then find what quickly became one of my favourite games. Then I got it through the PC to pay PC VR, and I didn't like it as much because it was super hard on the PC. And then literally the day Into the Radius 2 hit early access, I bought it immediately. So to give more money to something that I feel is expensive, I think it's like £30 or £40, which for early access in Quest feels a little too rich for my blood, so I think I'm going to wait on that. But I do feel that is delaying any updates that we might have got. I do think it does feel early to take a game like this to the Quest, and it, for want of a better way of putting it, it does feel like a little bit of a cash grab. Something I have been wondering is maybe at 117 hours Into the Radius 2, whether it's maybe time to I don't know what, hang up the pack, hang up the gun. I don't know what signifies that game really. I'm wondering if it's time to take a little bit of a break. I've finished it multiple times in early access at all various different soft finishes, and there is a part of me that secretly knows I'm just going to go straight back in with another playthrough. Obviously, I've got the mod, which gives you lots and lots of pennies, which gives you a lot more scope for different builds and things to take out into the world with you. So, we'll see. I would like a big fat juicy game to get my teeth into. And we've got a couple of things on the horizon: Turtles, Deadpool, another one that popped up over the weekend. Reuse maybe. Yeah, don't know. Might have to look that up. So yeah, maybe we'll see an actual other VR game make an appearance on the podcast. We'll see. How about that? Right, there we go. Not quite the hour and a half expected, but not actually that far off. That is it for this one. I will catch you next time. So there you go. What do you think to that? Another one done. Another one gone. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for listening, big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There you'll find social media links and an email button. As I was saying at the start of the podcast, if you want to drop us a line, get in touch for any reason, even if it's to tell us to shut up, that is the fastest way to do it. Just drop onto the website, click that email button, and it will auto-populate. So, fancy. Right, that's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
How awesome is that? So awesome. You gotta like, share and subscribe.